of officials here today to oversee this one. Stephen Gregory is your referee out in the middle, with Michael Jasinski and Shane Skinner on the touchline. So we're just about set to go here at Dorrien Gardens. Crunch time looming in season 2021, with 3 points vital to both these teams as they lay down their title markers on what's shaping up to be a key Saturday of action. 5 points splits the teams with this game, the first of 3 remaining in the league. Will Sorrento continue their impressive away record this season and set up a thrilling finale, or will Perth move one step closer to title 2024? Sorrento getting us underway wearing their change kit this afternoon, the all-dark jersey. Perth in their light blue home kits. Christian Sancic is driving forward early and crossing, and it just evades Domfey and drifts out for a goal kick. A start of real intent here from the home side, who start the day 3 points clear of Floreat Athena and 5 points clear of Sorrento, who are their opponents today. And of course, a win for Perth with 2 games remaining would inch them that little bit closer. Sorrento, for them, a win would bring them within 2 points of Perth, and pending results elsewhere in the Floreat ECU Joondalup game will set up a thrilling finish in the NPL WA this season. Here's Alex Silla bombing forward, crossing to the middle, caught by Giudicetti, who got down low and claimed the ball cleanly. Sancic trying to weave his way out of trouble. Perth looking to start on the front foot from the get-go here. Here's Calvin Whitney, a player who's been in wonderful form in midfield this season. Now Colwell, slide ball down the left wing for Gorman. Stoko will try and stand him up. It's a good challenge from Stoko originally, and a good second bite at it as well to get it upfield. Jackson. Olianis tries to thread through the ball, but Alex Morgan had a battle trying to stay on side. That didn't dent the confidence of Jackson of trying to get it, and in the end, ball crosses the line, and it will be a home side throw-in. Here's Whitney on the turn. Little ball through for the in-form Jaden Gorman. This time Kilkelly shapes him up. The pullback's for Christian Sancic. It's blocked by Ryan McLaughlin, who was out to meet the midfielder very promptly. McLaughlin's partial clearance again. Domfey was lurking, and then clearance is upfield from Jackson Tamata. Tamata, the youngster who's played mainly under 23s this season, been thrown in at left back for a big game this afternoon. Ball through. Here's a beautiful Gorman who's looking to get on the end of it, and he didn't quite catch it how he'd like, and Giudicetti able to gather. So a couple of early touches here for Matt Giudicetti, who's deputising for Connor Campbell. Connor Campbell, the usual number 1, not in the squad today. Giudicetti has played quite a few games in season 2021, though. He had a bit of a spell in the side when Joel Driscoll got injured earlier in the campaign. He won't remember his last game too fondly. He was sent off at Percy Doyle Reserve in a 2-1 defeat to Armidale late on in that game as Sorrento were chasing a late level. McDonald. Clearance only as far as Tim Hill. Little pass was looking for Annis. Lockie Bird is clearing upfield, and then Stoko has a swing on the miss, but Kilkelly should be able to clear the danger. So this game, one of 6 across the NPL WA this afternoon. Elsewhere, Florida Athena versus ECU Joondalup, Inglewood versus Coburn, Bayswater Armidale and Coburn Gwelup starting at 3 p.m. Meanwhile, Perth Glory and Rockingham playing the late kick-off at 5 p.m. As we said today, an important day in the shake-up of the title and the top 4. Here comes Cummings, who's crossing into the area. It was a good header away from Colwell, and then Santic had to help it on. Sorrento just warming their way into this one after a pretty fast Perth start. Morgan's flick on. Jackson was showing interest. Ball in from Cummings. Big shout from Montgomery and a clean claim as well. We will keep you in the loop with regards to the Florida and ECU Joondalup game as the afternoon wears on, given the importance of it. Meanwhile, Perth come forward here. Gorman goes inside. McLaughlin with a clearance back off the winger. And eventually Tomasa is able to get it to safety. Good tempo to this one early on here. Perth 0, Sorrento 0 if you're a little bit late to the coverage this afternoon. Stoko sticks to his challenge well there and plays the ball forward for Jackson, but well offside there was the former Armidale striker. Forward who scored 2 goals here for the Army in their famous State Cup 2018 win. That was a 2-0 win over Gwelup Croatia on that day. Whitney's cross, Judy Caddy backpedaling and was able to watch that one safely behind for a goal kick. So both of these two sides, arguably the two form teams of the competition, particularly over the last 5 weeks. Both have had 4 wins in their last 5 games. 5 games is the length of Sorrento's unbeaten run. Perth's is currently at 8. 6 wins and 2 draws in that period. Sancic. Alex Silla. Domfey got to the ball first. Sliding in well there was Kilkelly. Experienced campaigner for the goals. Sancic's little clip through. No one was really on the same wavelength. McLaughlin able to go back and gather. Perth inching their way a little bit closer to their target. Silla's throw for Whitney. And Silla just lost the handle on that one, and possession is turned over again just to go back to the recent form of both of these teams. In fact, we'll come back to that shortly. We'll just see how this Perth attack unfolds. It's Kieran Colwell who steps forward. Lovely little interchange of passes with Gordon and then Domfe and now Santich. Perth looking to build a... Whitney's pass through. McLaughlin's header away. Going to ground was Morgan, and Stephen Gregory blows the whistle and gives Sorrento a little chance to inch their way upfield. Sorrento's only dropped points in their last 5 outings was a 2-2 draw against second bottom Balcatta. A game that they were 2 goals to 0 up in as well, with Chris Jackson getting a double, and they'll be ruining those drop 2 points possibly if they do manage to close the gap potentially in the final weeks of the season. Been a brilliant title race this season, one that at one stage looked like it was going one way and one way only in terms of Floreat Athena's unbeaten 12-game beginning to the campaign. A little mid-season blip though, and some good form from both of these two sides has reinvigorated the race again though. Perth meanwhile with 3 wins in a row over Gwelup, Armidale and ECU in their past 3 matches. Whitney switched the play over the head of Silla. Silla almost holding out the arms saying, what do you want me to do with that? Annis fighting really hard there, and I was just about to say his work nearly paid fruits as Jackson just lost his footing. Perth throw in here. Gordon and Gorman exchange passes. Good aggressive defending by Jordan Brown, and the fullback, he loves to get forward and he's looking to launch this counter-attack here for Sorrento. Morgan was stood up well by Colwell, and that slowed things down for the moment, although possession's turned over and Sorrento will come back the other way. Tomasa just took a little bit too much time. Domfe then stepped in and shrugged the youngster off the ball. Perth with a few numbers forward here. Santich inside, outside, ball into the middle, looking for Gorman or Whitney. Half cleared by Stoko. And now the release forward from Cummings. Jackson looking to get on the end of it. Bird with an important touch in there. And then it was a good find by Radinovic to the youngster, and Perth now look to get on their way up the other end. Lovely control from Gorman, who spins inside. He's only got Domfe ahead of him for the moment. And that allowed McLaughlin to step in. Real end-to-end feel about this game at the moment. And a little bit of respite for both teams as Radinovic steps into Morgan. Free kick was quickly taken, but Jackson was offside. Free kick forward from Stoko. Jackson leaping. Morgan looking to get on the end of it. Ollie Annis with a volley, and that's not going to trouble Montgomery. Great to see Ollie Annis back on the park. Second half of season 2021, ex-Glory youngster. Joined the goals from ECU Joondalup a couple of seasons ago, but unfortunately suffered an injury at the end of last season and missed the early part of this campaign. Made 11 appearances since making his return in the regional game up in Geraldton. Really good technical player, capable of playing out wide or in the centre of midfield. It's a great pass from Santich to pick out Gordon. And then McDonald's return for the youngster was a little off the mark, and Brown's going to be able to shield that one out of play for a Sorrento restart. Silla driving forward, wanted the foul and got the foul. And this will give Perth an opportunity to get some players forward from the back potentially. Boyan Radinovic and Lockie Bird are heading up from the centre of defence. Perth with 5 players here on the edge of the area looking to attack this one. It's going to be clipped in by Whitney. Gordon tried to get his head to it. It'll break for Gorman. As the rain starts to come down here at Dorrien Gardens. Been fairly overcast for the majority of the afternoon. We've largely avoided any really bad downpours throughout here in WA. Seems as though we're going to get some intermittent showers and a bit of a cross breeze throughout the afternoon. Colwell. He's got Gordon to his left. Colwell elects to go himself. Hill does really well to shield the ball and get it back for Stoko, who clears upfield. Sliding in there, Jackson. Brown's ball upfield gives Alex Morgan something to chase. Lockie Bird does well, though, and gets it back to his keeper, Montgomery. So Perth looking perhaps a little bit crisper in possession overall. Sorrento have provided a little bit of a threat on the break, though. Here they come again. It's Cummings' ball. Look at that hold up in the wind. Annis. Alex Morgan lays off for Tim Hill, who wasn't able to hit that one sweetly at all, but there was a deflection, and the goals will have the first corner of the afternoon. And this is an area where Sorrento do excel. The likes of Stoko and Ryan McLaughlin, Jordan Brown will all come up from the back. Sorrento committed 6 into the area. It's played short for Hill, who thinks that one in. The header was in and shouts for handball in the mix of that, but Stephen Gregory didn't see anything to capture his interests. Perth will meanwhile look to get the counter-attack moving. Domfey's pass back was disappointing. Morgan able to pick it off. Ball inside for Cummings. Now Annis. Hill just sitting in front of that back four offers an option. Forward again for Annis. Sorrento looking to move the ball around and pull Perth defenders out of position a little bit. Lovely 1-2 between Tamasa and Morgan. Tamata tries to skip inside the fullback. And possession, I think, was scrambled away by Lockie Bird there. Colwell, one of Ramon Falzone's loyal players, a player who's followed him from Balcatta to Perth. There's been 15 meetings between these two sides in the NPL WA era, which began in 2014. Perth have won 8 of them. Sorrento winning 3 and 4 draws as well. 4 wins for Perth, 2 draws and 2 Sorrento wins at Dorrien Gardens in 8 total meetings. In fact, Sorrento are unbeaten in their last 2 visits here to the Azzurri, having drawn 1 apiece with Perth in 2020 and then defeating them by 3-2 on the final day of the 2019 season. A season which Perth went on to do the double in. It was Alex Morgan who got a hat-trick on that afternoon, and no doubt Sorrento's number 7 will be hoping to have a similar impact today. Ball forward from Stoko into the chest of Jackson. Helped away by Santich. Cummings will lift it forward again. It's headed away by Colwell. Brown's layoff. Cross comes in. Jackson's header. Appeals for a corner, and Stephen Gregory agrees with the Sorrento forward. You can see that rain is still coming down. Once again, the tall timber comes forward again. 6 in the area for Sorrento. It's Annis's corner. At the back post is Brown. It might break for Tim Hill, who volleys. It broke almost for McLaughlin. Hill again pokes forward, and it's helped away by Lockie Bird. Now Domfey's trying to launch a Perth counter-attack here, but he's all on his own for the moment. And he's in a foot race with Tamasa and does really well. Michael Domfey stepping across was, in fact, it was Cummings who was tracking back. Tamasa was the one who stepped across. Now Santich's ball into the area is cleared away by Kilkelly. And you can see the wind just held that one up again. Whitney will strike one from range, but it was an optimistic effort from Perth's equal top scorer in season 2021. 8 goals this campaign for Whitney, joint with Michael Domfey. Whitney, who returned to WA this season after a spell with Melbourne Knights in the Victorian NPL. Spells here with the Glory and with Floreat and Coburn as well. So midway through this first half, Perth 0, Sorrento 0. Massive game in the race for the title. Ball played through from Annis. Jackson tried to twist Radinovic inside and out. The defender was equal to it though. And then that's a super pass from Silva to pick out Gorman. Now Gorman's got Domfey ahead of him, looks to link up with a striker, and then Gorman tries his luck from range, and that one took a deflection. And Perth will get their first set piece of the afternoon. Can tell you it's also Florida Athena 0, ECU Joondalup 0 at E&D Leiter Stadium. Santich's corner, Birds attacking it. Stoko got the touch. We'll have a secondary corner from the other side. No change to the live standings at the top of the division then. Elsewhere, Inglewood and Guelph are leading, and Bayswater and Armidale are one apiece as well. Bring you some scores at half-time. Whitney's corner is a deep one. Radinovic and Santich have peeled to the back post, and they should both be able to retrieve it over there. Santich's ball in will lead to a third Perth corner in a row. First game of a doubleheader, women's NPL action straight after this at 5 p.m. between Perth and the NTC. Santich's ball in, Bird attacking again. It'll get to Radinovic at the back post, who clips that one back into the area, and Judicati's there to claim with a good piece of reading. Here's Ryan McLaughlin. Tomasa. Forward by Kilkelly. Kilkelly slides in. Tackle only as far as Santich. Whitney, McDonald, and now Colwell. Whitney again. Colwell continued his run. He'll go back to Perth number 13. Whitney's ball in. It's aimed in at Gorman. It was a good save from Judicati. He would have seen that late, coming in over the head of Gorman, and did well to palm it behind for a corner. I think it was creeping inside that post. First real test for either goalkeeper this afternoon. Perth commit half dozen forward again. It's Santich's driven ball in. Judicati was watching it, and nobody was gambling at the back post, but Stephen Gregory spotted a touch off the Sorrento body, much to the surprise of their defence. Perth with their fifth corner in about 2 or 3 minutes here. Ramping up the pressure. Whitney's ball in. Bird was attacking. It's headed clear by Sorrento. Whitney will get a second crack at it. Judicati will come and claim, and does so at the second time of asking. Quick release brought down by Jackson. Stepping in, Radinovic, who was tracking back from the set piece. Now Gorman. He has Whitney to his right. It was a good read from Stoko to intercept. Perth will come forward again, though. We speak about the Perth record in this fixture being at 8 wins out of 15. It's usually a game that has goals in it, just the one scoreless draw, which was in 2016. 54 goals in the 15 meetings, an average of 3.6 a game. Having said that, Perth have had 4 clean sheets in this fixture, and 3 of them have been here at Dorrien Gardens. Santic. Time to look up and assess his options. The cross into the area is looking for Domfay. Arriving late was Gordon. And Giudicati didn't know a lot about that one either, and still did a good job to get in a good position to thwart any danger. Good piece of goalkeeping again from Sorrento's keeper. Bird's header back across goal. In fact, it was behind for a goal kick. So pretty tense game here so far. Nothing really clear-cut by way of chances. What can Sorrento do here on this foray forward? Brown's cross was a little disappointing. McDonald clears upfield. It turned out to be a good pass for Gorman. Stepping in well was Stoko. Hill's ball forward. Morgan tried the dummy. Radinovic read that one like a book, though. Whitney's ball forward will give Will Gordon some room to run into. He's only really got Gorman in the area at the moment. It's aimed in. Domfay's towards the back post. Tomasa got his head in there. Hill helped it clear. Silla. Domfay. Gorman. Yet again, Sorrento slide in. Tim Hill. Cushion header from Jackson. Had no midfield runners. Close enough to him, and possession turned over. Now Whitney's release is picked out. Gorman here. Cross into the area. Giudicati was able to watch that wide of his near post. Been a great season for these two sides. It was a little bit disappointing last campaign by both their standards. Perth were in the bottom 6 of the split after the 11 games of the COVID-affected season. They did make it through to the top 4, but were beaten in the final by Floreat by 4-0. Sorrento, meanwhile, did qualify for the top half after a good season. Floundered in the second half of it, though. Here's Gorman coming forward. Curling effort at goal is over the bar, watched by Giudicati. Was in good form, Jaden Gorman, since coming back into the team, a player who had his injury issues earlier in the campaign. 5 goals in 7 games since coming back, though. He's just added that little bit of spark to Ramon Falzone's team in the previous month or so. Still goalless at Floreat in the game between Floreat and ECU Joondalup, in the game which has relevance on this afternoon's clash. Still as we were. Colwell's pass uncharacteristically wide of the mark. Cummings. Forward from Kilkelly. Morgan tried to help that one through for Jackson. Shouts for handball against Colwell, and I think the assistant spotted that one, and Stephen Gregory gives the decision Sorrento's way. It's going to be Annis's free kick. It's headed away by Gordon. Brown will try and shield that one out. He's got a booming long throw on him if he wants to use it, and I suspect we're about to see it. Aimed in. Morgan tried to hook it over his shoulder. Hill just dabs it forward. Bird is able to clear. Domfay will look to use Silla, the runner on his outside, who tries to pick out Gorman with a pass, but he ran out of territory over on the far side. Good to see some blue skies in the background and the rain subsiding for the time being. Cummings does well. Dean Cummings cross into the area is aimed at Brown, who was forward from full back. It'll break for Tim Hill, who has to just dink that one back in. Strong defending from Bird. Hill will get another go at this. Once again, it's aimed in deep, and Bird got another crucial touch, and Sorrento will keep the pressure on. Their turn to have a little spell now. Once again, it's Annis who's trusted with the dead ball. It's aimed in. It's headed by Morgan. It nearly broke to Stoko, who was lurking on the penalty spot, and Perth somehow muddled it away. Santich wide for Whitney. Ball inside was nearly picked off by Annis. Santich went there, though, and made up for Whitney's slight error. And then the pass forward was rather disappointing. That pass in the final third just letting both teams down at the moment. Kilkelly's header. Whitney tries to pick it off. Cleared upfield by Tamata. Now Jackson's all on his own upfield and has to fight a lone hand. He did really well, Chris Jackson, against 4 Perth players, and then the ball through was looking for the midfield runner in Annis, but a little bit too much weight on that. Jamie Harnwell was up off his seat and applauding his centre forward. ...256 appearances for the Glory, Jamie Harnwell. Goals coach since 2014 and player who finished the later years of his career at Percy Doyle Reserve. Brown's throw is long up the line. Cummings trying to make a nuisance of himself. Radinovic intercepts. Ball over the top looking for the run of Domfey, who tried to shrug McLaughlin. Giudicetti came out of his goal and referee spotted a foul from the centre forward. Golden Boot winner in 2019, Michael Domfey, in his debut season here at Dorrien Gardens. Giudicetti back on his feet again. He's had to deal with a couple of dangerous crosses in this half, a couple of which possibly would have snuck in. Certainly been the busier of the two keepers, albeit ever so slightly. Morgan's flick on will reach Jackson. Morgan still down behind play here. Jackson will cross into the area. Annis was arriving. In fact, Annis almost backed into Brown there and hit the deck, and Sorrento will get the corner, but first I think Stephen Gregory is just going to check on Alex Morgan behind play, and the physio will be waved on here, so we'll have a small break in play here while Morgan receives a little bit of treatment. Although as the physio ran onto the pitch, Morgan got up as soon as he got close by the winger, who nowadays plies his trade through the middle as a central striker. Annis's corner. Whitney will head away at the near post. Tim Hill at the full first. Cross into the area was charged down, and now Perth will look to launch on the counter-attack. Gorman will look up. He'll see Michael Domfey. The pass was aimed in at the forward, but Cummings was there to pick off with a good piece of tracking back from midfield. Santic. Room to drive into. Christian Santic. He scored one from range last week. He struck at goal, and Giudicetti had to throw a glove and turn it around the post. It may well have been going wide of the mark, but the goalkeeper wasn't to know. I can tell you there's been a red card at E&D Leiter Stadium. ECU down to 10 men. Floriat 0, ECU 0. Santic's ball in. Plenty of players in the 6-yard area there looking to get on the end of it. In the end, the last touch was off a Perth player and behind for a goal kick. Now off screen, Alex Morgan is coming back onto the pitch, so good to see Sorrento's number 7 back in the fold, and both teams restored to 11 apiece. Cummings. Olianis. Little clip through was headed away by Radinovic. Picked off by Brown, though, who crosses into the area. There was no real target there at the back post, though. Tamata will still try and make it something good. Unfortunately, he left it behind, though, and Silla was able to intercept. Santich's ball forward for Domfey, who touch off the thigh was a little heavy. So inching closer to half-time here. Been a fairly cagey opening half here at Dorrien Gardens in the first versus third clash of the NPL WA men's competition this afternoon. It's Perth 0, Sorrento 0 here at Dorrien Gardens. The best chances of the half came Perth's way. Matt Giudicati was down twice to deny crosses from Calvin Whitney, and then as Will Gordon was arriving late in the area from a Calvin Whitney ball in, he was there on point to turn it away. It may well have been sneaking in, but the goalkeeper certainly wasn't to know. It's as we were at the start of the afternoon. Floreat 0, ECU Joondalup elsewhere with ECU down to 10 men. What twists and turns will we see in the second 45 minutes? We'll be back shortly to bring you that and the rest of the action here at Dorrien Gardens. Half-time 0, Perth 0, Sorrento 0. Welcome back to Dorrien Gardens for the second half of this round 20 men's NPL WA clash between Perth Soccer Club and Sorrento FC. Goalless at the break between these two sides in the first versus third battle in the NPL WA this afternoon. It's as we were at kickoff. Both these sides split by 5 points in the table, but the onus will be on Sorrento to possibly come out a little bit more after containing Perth for the opening 45 minutes. A must-win game for Jamie Harnwell's side if they are to mount a late title surge in season 2021, while Perth will look to get a goal themselves as well to possibly edge another leap closer to title 24. Back underway for the second half. No changes from either team. First half, a few chances if you're only joining us for the second half of today's broadcast. Perth on the march early. Whitney flicked outside for Silla. Ball looked back inside for Whitney again, whose shot was blocked by Stoko, and then Cummings will help it away. Brave defending there by Bird. Silla keeps it in play. Tamata does well to win the ball and then goes to ground. Play allowed to continue. Sliding in was McDonald. Now the pace of the first half was pretty up and down, even though, as we said, there was very few chances. Domfay coming inside. Whitney's got a couple of players to his left. One of them's Will Gordon, who looks back inside for Jaden Gorman. A real good one for the commentators, that one this afternoon. Gorman and Gordon, both with similar hairstyles as well. Whitney holds off Cummings. Perth have got a couple of players here on this near side. One of them is McDonald. The other is Silla, who's in possession now. Ball into the feet of Whitney. Header clear was from Cummings. Domfay will try and latch onto this one and make himself a real nuisance in there, and does well to win the corner. Poked behind by Kilkelly, I think it was there. Whitney goes over to take the set piece. Sancic comes short. 5 players in the area for Perth. It was a below par delivery from Sancic by his standards, though, and it's easily cleared away by the goals. Visitors now look to get the counter-attack going. Morgan's ball forward was just out of reach of the outstretched leg of Jackson. Forward from Silla. The last touch was off Gorman. Of course, a super Saturday here at Dorrien Gardens. 5 games on the spin. We had the under-18s men earlier today winning by 5 goals to 2. That was Perth who won that game. Second game was the women's under-23s match, which ended 2-1 also to Perth, and then in the 20s, just before this match, a 1-0 win to Perth there as well. Stoko's ball forward. Jackson was showing interest. This is game 4, and game 5 is the NPL WA women's competition round 19 game between Perth and the NTC. That one due to start at 5. Hill's ball in. Jackson tries to get the head on there. Then the volley on goal, and Montgomery was down low to save. It was a save that had to be made. It was the goalkeeper's first real work of the afternoon in terms of a meaningful save. Ball just took a bobble as Kilkelly was trying to clear away. What a wonderful servant he's been to Sorrento FC. Perth with a chance to stay on the front foot. Domfay was in an offside position. In terms of the title race this afternoon, just a reminder that Florida Athena and ECU Joondalup are currently locked at 0-0, but ECU down to 10 men. Annis's ball forward took a touch of a Perth defender. Montgomery will try and prevent the corner and does so. Just bring you some halftime scores quickly. Balcatta leading over Inglewood. Bayswater 2, Armidale 1. Gwelup leading by a goal to 0 at Coburn. Floreat 0, ECU 0, and Perth Glory versus Rockingham City as a 5 p.m. kickoff. All games streamed on the Football West Facebook page and the YouTube channel. Brown's long throw, aimed in at Stoko. Bird helps it on. Annis was waiting for the drop, but it was edged away by Whitney. Sansich. Jaden Gorman. Domfay tried to read the ball through and Kilkelly was wise to the danger. Sansich weaving his way through a crowd of Sorrento defenders. The clearance is only as far as Gordon. And then the cross is charged down by Tamata, who ended up on the far side of the ground. Not sure if that's a switch by design or whether the fullback will head back towards the other side shortly. Meanwhile, Whitney will head over to take this corner. He's got Bird, Domfay and Radinovich on roughly the edge of the area. Will Gordon's on the keeper, and now Jaden Gorman will arrive to add a fifth body into the mix. It's Whitney's ball and it's attacked by Radinovich. It's headed away by Brown. It's Sansich who's stepping in to win the ball from Annis. And then the cross comes in. Arriving is Bird, who loops a header over the bar, and the adjudicator's able to watch that one over. Colwell's ball into the channel will give Domfay something to chase. Stoko puts out for a throw. Stoko, who's in his second spell with the goals, returning at the beginning of this season after spending 2020 with Bayswater. In fact, he's alternated between Sorrento and Bayswater for the last 4 years, interestingly. 12 appearances in season 2021, and he'll be welcomed forward for a set piece here. In fact, he's back defending, my apologies. Santich's ball in. Cummings will head away at the near post. Whitney will gather. Santich aimed in again. Judicati will come and claim. Good authoritative piece of goalkeeping, and then the quick release upfield was skewed off the outside of the boot. May get work for Jackson, who got his head to it, but Sansich was at the fall, and reading that one pretty easily. A little bit scrappy between the thirds at the moment from both teams. It's been a feature of this afternoon's fixture so far, a real lack of cutting edge in that final third. A tense day for the title race, and one of those afternoons where perhaps it's going to be a mistake or a moment of brilliance which wins it for either team. Morgan lunges in on Colwell, and Perth will get the free kick moving quickly. Sansich. Perth substitutes warming up just beneath us here as Silla marauds forward. A very young bench for the Azzurri this afternoon. Likes of Federico Ashili, Aidan Formston, Emerson Alexis, all players predominantly of the under-23 side, as well as Yagub Mustafa, who's had an injury interrupted 2021, a player who can really spark things. We may see him introduced if the scores stay this way. Meanwhile, Whitney's ball and is aimed in at Bird. It was well headed away. Play continues here. Sancic drives at goal. It looked as though he shaped across, and instead he tried to catch Judy Caddy out, but ball was always rising. Silla. McLaughlin's header away, only as far as Gorman. Poked into Domfey. The return pass was looking for Gorman. It was good defending from Tamata, who's not put a foot wrong in defence so far this afternoon, the youngster. Player who's been with the club since 2014. Spoke about Perth's bench, Sorrento's bench, similarly young, likes of Daniel Fakeney, Joe Tweets, Tristan Stevens, Ethan Banks as well. Both teams have had to deal with injury in season 2021. Morgan's flick on looking for Jackson. He was fouled by an overeager McDonald though. Opportunity for Sorrento to get some bodies forward really for the first time in this half as we approach the hour mark. Still no score between Perth and Sorrento here in this first versus third NPL WA clash. It's Annis's ball in. Whitney's flick on. Jackson was lurking. Last touch was off the Perth player though, and it'll be another free kick, or another set piece, my apologies, for Sorrento. It'll be a corner this time though. Crowd a little subdued at the moment, just waiting for that first moment to arrive. Annis's ball in. Brown got his header to it. Domfay then did his best to clear away, and then Colwell completed it. Gorman stood up by Tamata, who did really well once again. Gorman got an important boot in though, and now Santic will try and drive Perth forward. It's a good-looking ball in for Whitney, and Hill had to make that interception with two players from Perth in behind of him. Sorrento come the other way. Morgan was checked by Bird, and Lockie Bird will be the first player into the referee's notebook this afternoon. Alex Morgan just trying to scoot down the outside of the Perth defender, and Bird fouled him. Annis's ball in was a little bit too close to Montgomery, who was able to gather comfortably. Silla's pass cut out by Cummings. Whitney putting the pressure on Giudicati, who manages to hoist that one up and away. Jackson. Tim Hill looking for an option, nothing really presenting, so has to put a hopeful ball forward, and then he try and just helps that one up the line for Brown. Sorrento get the throw. Brown's throw. Cleared away by Colwell. Santic completes the clearance. It's going to come back though. McLaughlin leaves it for Tamata. Cummings. Tamata continued his run from full-back. Stepping in was Bird with a good challenge. Not once but twice. And now Gorman stayed onside here. I think he's away. He's got Domfay in the middle. It's Jaden Gorman who pulls across. It's Michael Domfay! 9 goals this season for Michael Domfay, who puts Perth 1 goal to the good and possibly one step closer to title number 24. Perth 1, Sorrento 0. Perth 1, Sorrento 0. Michael Domfay's 63rd minute goal has the Azzurri in front. And crucially, with Floreat and ECU still locked at 0-0 over at E&D Leiters Stadium, Perth have opened up a 5-point lead at the summit of the division. Just the 2 games left after today, of course. What can Sorrento do in response? Tomato was denied by Santic. McLaughlin will head forward. Tomasa again, slightly behind the full-back. Whitney will thread through for Gorman. Jackson, Morgan. Colwell will poke upfield. Cummings into the feet of Jackson. Touch was a little heavy, and once again Perth are able to scramble away. Tim Hill clips in. Lockie Bird heads away. Tomasa will arrive on the edge of the area. He's looking for a teammate. Finds one in Cummings. Now Brown. Cross into Gordon. Out for a throw. Sorrento have got to go all out here now if they want to keep their title hopes alive. Brown's hoist in. Gordon will hack it away. Hill will put the ball back in. It's intercepted by Santic. And now Gorman and Whitney are both open on this right-hand side. If Santic can get it there, he does thread the pass. It's slightly ahead of Whitney, but Whitney will get to the ball anyway. The cross is aimed in. It's too far for his teammates, though, who both of them really gambled in towards that penalty spot in the near post area. A promising opportunity on the break goes begging. Stokoe deals with the threat of Domfay for the time being. I should just add that despite Sorrento trailing by a goal to 0 at the moment, with results elsewhere, they will confirm their place in the season-ending top 4 competition. Still time for them to aim high, though. Silla's volley was miscued. It was headed away by McLaughlin. Gorman then, with a little snapshot from the edge of the area, just drifted wide of Giudicati's post and was watched wide. Gorman charges it down. It'll break fortuitously for Domfay. Stokoe got the touch in. Domfay will keep that alive rather than watch it out for a corner. Gorman was offside there as he tried to interchange passes with Santic. So midway through this second half here at Dorrien Gardens on a big day for the title race. Here in the West in the NPL WA, it's Perth 1, Sorrento 0. Michael Domfay's goal, the difference so far. Tommy Dolman with you this afternoon on the Football West YouTube channel and on the Facebook page. Thanks for watching us wherever you may be. Perth presently 5 points clear at the top, with Florient and ECU goalless at last check. ECU down to 10 men as well, incidentally. Whitney. Little flick from Domfay. Whitney again will get the ball back via Gordon. The cross into the area. Domfay was showing interest. Judicated with a good fist away, though. McDonald fakes, strikes, just wide of the post. A few in the ground thought that one may have crept in at the near post. Would have been a real collector's item for Nick McDonald, yet to score in his 31 appearances over 2 seasons for the Azzurri since joining from Perth Glory's NPL side. Looks as though Sorrento are going to turn to the bench for the first time this afternoon. It's Daniel Fakeney who's going to come on, and it'll be Jackson Tomasa who is withdrawn. Suspect this will be a like-for-like replacement, but Fakeney does perhaps like to get forward a little bit more. In fact, Fakeney looks as though he's going to the left wing position, or at least a left inside forward position. Clearance was dangerous there. It could have ended at the boot of anybody, and in the end the last touch was off Domfey and behind for a goal kick. So Fakeney does look as though he's going to be part of this Sorrento front three. Ollie Annis has gone back to left back, or possibly left wing back. Sorrento maybe just chancing their arm and throwing an extra player forward here. They've got to find a goal if they want to keep their league hopes alive in season 2021. Morgan, interception was made by Silla. Good read of the play by McLaughlin. Bird was unable to control. Fakeney's first meaningful moment of the game. He tried to thread it through for Jackson. Stepping out, though, was Radinovic, who's been a tower of strength at the back for Perth this season, and he wins the free kick from the retreating wide man. I can tell you there's been a goal at E&D Lighters Stadium. Floriat 1, ECU Joondalup 0. So as things stand, Perth's lead is cut to 3 at the top. Try and confirm the scorer there when it comes to hand. Meanwhile, Perth will turn to the bench for the first time this afternoon. It'll be the goal scorer, Michael Domfey, who makes way. Is that a match-winning contribution from Perth's number 10? His place will be taken by Yagub Mustafa, player who, as we said earlier, has had a frustrating season with injury, just the 2 appearances, so his 3rd of the campaign. Player who's got plenty of pace, and plenty of tricks up his sleeve. Nick McDonald. Stepping in Stoko, Bird will head away. Silla needed a teammate. In the end, he didn't need one because Annis fouled him. Still plenty of time here for Sorrento. Tick under 17 minutes according to the scoreboard over on the far side of the ground. Scoreboard which reads Perth Soccer Club 1, Sorrento 0. Radinovic's free kick forward. It's headed away by McLaughlin. Silla. McDonald. Now Mustafa spinning away. Hill tried to get a boot in. It ended up breaking for McDonald, who exchanges passes with Gorman, and then the ball out wide. Couldn't find Gordon. Cummings does really well to break through a couple of challenges. Fake and he's out wide. He'll want his left side. He keeps it in. Battling with Colwell over on the far side. I believe it's going to be a Sorrento throw. Colwell is down though. Not sure if he just caught a accidental boot from Fakeney while making the challenge, but defender's back on his feet now. So Jordan Brown will hoist a long ball into the area. Stoko will try and flick on it. It's instead headed away. Santic will then just poke it out for another throw. Gorman on the turn, ball's a beauty, it's threaded through here for Yagoub. Mustafa will try and put the game to bed. It's Mustafa, it's pulled back, it's Gorman, it's blocked brilliantly by McLaughlin. And now Whitney will feed back for Silla to drive. And it's somehow scrambled away by Sorrento again, and then the clearance is completed by Brown. Ball through here. Morgan's pass will find Fakeney, who's in on goal here. Borders coming across, and Bird makes a brilliant challenge. Fakeney goes back in, and Perth stand tall in the back when they needed to most. Cummings, Jackson, Morgan. He had Annis wide to his left. He didn't see him though. Hill will now try and find him. He wins the 50-50 with Mustafa and then plays wide for Brown, who tries to pull back across goal. McDonald's got a little bit of time to clear that one away. In fact, it's Colwell, my apologies. Poked away by Radinovic. Cummings turns that one around the corner. Gordon will try and just watch that one run out of play and manages to do so successfully. Forward from Hill. Jackson, I think, won the flick on there. It was cleared away by Bird, though, who made that wonderful challenge to deny Fakeney a couple of minutes ago. Cummings, Hill, McDonald away. Hill wins the header. Santic will be at the fall of the ball, and then winning the throw off Tim Hill, his midfield counterpart. Mustafa threading a beautiful pass through for Alex Silla, who's in on goal here. Touch put him a little bit wide. It's pulled back. It's Whitney arriving. It's cleared away by Stoko, who had to get there. Whitney would have had a clean sight on goal if the Sorrento defender didn't intervene there. Perth looking to put the game to bed. Shouts for handball against Silla, and both referee and linesman were aware. Stoko to launch this one forward. Fakeney will contest. It's Radinovic who won the header though. Hills flick around the corner. Fakeney. Strike was from Brown. It was charged down though by Perth defence. And now as Sorrento commit bodies forward, Perth have got the chance to counter. It's Mustafa. It's Calvin Whitney to his right. He's got two inside in support. One of them's Mustafa. Who'll strike left-footed, and he can't quite wrap his boot around it. Get the sense it's going to be an end-to-end 10 minutes or so here at Dorrien Gardens as Sorrento try to get that goal to stay alive for the league, and Perth look to make the game safe once and for all. Morgan's ball over the top. Fakeney trying to get the better of Radinovic, but the defender's been outstanding today, and there's another example of an excellent piece of work at the back. Former Dinella White Eagles man. Whitney. Stood up by McLaughlin for the moment. Mustafa's layoff. Santic goes to ground. No foul given. Only partially cleared away there by Stoko. And now Mustafa's got a bit of time out wide here. Loves to pull out the party tricks and run with the ball. What can he do with this one here? He'll take on Annis down the outside. The pullback is cleared away by Kilkelly. Santic has time to keep alive. Looks up and aims it in. Gorman was in behind Kilkelly, who won another header. Ball forward from Hill. Jackson won the header there, I think, and he did, and it was into Radinovic. Cummings. Morgan. Cummings again. Bird shields that one away from Fakeney, and Montgomery comes out to claim. So a touch under 8 minutes to go here at Dorrien Gardens. Perth 1, Sorrento 0. Michael Domfey's goal decisive so far. Floriat 1, ECU Joondalup 0 elsewhere. ECU down to 10 men in that game. So as things stand, Perth will enter the final 2 weeks of the season with a 3-point lead on Athena. Unless we see some late drama at either ground in the final 10 minutes or so. Going to be a second change for Sorrento here. Tim Hill will come off and Joe Tweets will provide some fresh legs. Player who's earned a chance at NPL level, having spent 2020 in Division 1 with Quins. 13 appearances and 2 goals there last season. Once a Florid Athena in his younger days. Now that's a searching ball here, which gives Annis something to chase, and Silla can only help but turn that one away into touch. Plenty forward for Sorrento again, as it needs to be. Brown's long throw, aimed in at the near post. Stoko tries to help on, and the last touch was off the goals defender, and Perth will get a relieving goal kick. Right, Montgomery looking to take quickly. Alex Silla just says, give us a breather. Second full season at Perth for Montgomery, having joined mid-season from Stirling in 2019. Previously long-term Subiaco keeper. Replaced Francis Soale, who was the former captain who went to Dandenong City Thunder in Victoria. 7 clean sheets this season for the goalkeeper. An 8th here will edge Perth that little bit closer. Fakeney. Little touch there off Radinovic, I feel. Broke for Santic. Now Whitney. And now Gordon. He's got Mustafa ahead of him, who will fancy his chances running against Stoko. He instead checks inboard for Whitney. Possession favoured by Perth at the moment. Silla. Gorman. Still going, Jaden Gorman goes to ground. Steve Gregory says that he was fouled. And I feel that this is just on the edge of the area. We are inside the final 5 minutes now. It's at the right end of the ground as far as Perth are concerned, but still time for Sorrento to get an equaliser, albeit they do have to defend a free kick first. There's going to be 5 in the wall for Sorrento here. Possibly a 6th in the form of Kilkelly, yes. It's Calvin Whitney stepping up. It's a screamer from Calvin Whitney, who picks out the top corner. Then slides down on his knees, and Perth have surely made this one safe now. Perth 2, Sorrento 0. So Perth 2, Sorrento 0. Game over now, surely. Sorrento make a double change. Tristan Stevens and Ethan Banks have come on. David Stoko has now also gone up front, and we're going to see a Perth change as well from Ramon Falzone. It'll be Federico Ashili who enters the fray. He'll get a couple of minutes at the end of this one to provide some fresh legs in midfield, and it's Christian Santic who will make way. Home fans giving Santic a warm round of applause here, and on comes Ashili. Youngster formerly of Stirling and Inglewood. Played plenty of senior minutes this season with injuries throughout the Azuri squad, and he'll get a couple of minutes plus stoppage time to help Perth see this one out. Forward from Stevens, it's helped on by Jackson, and it'll run all the way through for McLaughlin. Montgomery, my apologies. So Perth 2, Sorrento 0, still 1-0 to Floriat at E&D Leiter Stadium. Jesse Fuller, the goal scorer there. Fakeney's flick on. Ethan Banks will try and make his mark. Sliding in was Colwell. Fakeney kept his feet. The little turn around the corner was wide of the mark, and Perth will counter and possibly look for a third here. Gorman will try and scoot away from Stevens, but the youngster slides in and puts it into touch. Tristan Stevens, who played in Sorrento's under-20s Cup final back in July, a game which Bayswater won by 2-0. So Perth look as though they're going to remain 3 points clear here at the top, pending the result at E&D Leiter Stadium between Floreat and ECU Joondalup. They finish with Rockingham away and Balcatta at home in the final 2 rounds of the season. Sorrento, meanwhile, will play Floreat and Bayswater. Floreat at Percy Doyle, Bayswater at Frank Drago Reserve. And incidentally, Floreat will pay Sorrento away, as we just said before, and then Rockingham at home to finish the season. Flick on here was looking for Jackson, who slid in, and Radinovic took a little bit of issue, and it's going to be a little bit of a coming together between a few players here. Stephen Gregory with a little bit to sort out. Jackson just leaving a boot in there in a what looked to be a genuine attempt to try and get a boot on the ball. Montgomery clearly coming off worse for wear. Looks as though it has been calmed down though by the officials. Both players will go into their book for their troubles. So Ramon Falzone has presided over league titles in 2016, 2018 and 2019 in the NPL WA era. And 3 points here this afternoon helps his chances of adding a 4th title here at Dorrien Gardens after joining from Balcatta previously. Just in terms of Sorrento, they will remain 6 points clear of 5th place as things stand. So a top 4 place is still certainly on the agenda as far as they're concerned, and as they've shown throughout the season, they're certainly capable of being a danger in the postseason. Colwell puts that one behind for the corner, and better safe than sorry. Sorrento perhaps with a foray forward to try and pull one back here. It's Annis's ball and it's whipped in. It's fisted away by Montgomery, and now Mustafa will send Perth off to the races again. He's got Whitney alongside him, who then tries to dink over the top for Gorman, who's in a race with Tristan Stevens. The Sorrento defender gets the ball back to his goalkeeper though, and then heads clear on the pass forward from Ashili, who then went in a little heavy on Sorrento's number 15, the 2 substitutes. Sorrento's bench not too happy with that challenge. Tweets his ball forward. Gordon's clearance forward marks the end of this game here at Dorrien Gardens, a game which Perth Soccer Club has won by 2-0. It wasn't the prettiest game in truth, but where there was a will, there was a way for Perth. They took their chances when it mattered most. Both goals coming in the second half. The first scored by Michael Domfey, his 9th of the season, when he tapped in Jaden Gorman's cross from close range to score, to put himself into the lead in terms of Perth's goal scoring charts in 2021. The game was on a knife edge for quite some time. Chris Jackson had Sorrento's best chance of pulling a goal back for the goals, and he was denied by Ryan Montgomery. And then late on, Perth made the game safe once and for all as Calvin Whitney stepped up and plundered a blistering free kick into the top corner and capped off what's been another good day for Perth. What it will mean in the final shake-up, we'll have to see. Presently, it's Florida Athena 1, ECU Joondalup 0. So, as things stand, Perth will lead by 3 points going into the final 2 games of the season in their search for yet another title in the NPL WA era. Full time here at Dorrien Gardens, Perth 2, Sorrento 0.